racing straight ahead. No man can do like I can. I'm the queen of the land. Haters gonna hate. Won't be sorry now. Shoot me down, but I'll rise again. I'm laying down the law and you've been served. For my 1 billion, my billion.
The rest of the Xfinity Series field doesn't get to practice here this afternoon.
Yeah, I think, just seat time and track time on this racetrack, obviously first weekend back in a year, so who knows what conditions with the track, what new bumps are out there, and it's always good to get laps and seat time. So looking forward to doing that tonight regardless, but I really want to practice and qualify this Bruschetta Bourbon Chevrolet and see if it's as fast as Xfinity Mobile.
Before we went to break, we were showing the playoff point standings, and you're kind of 2 spots out from that grid, minus 25. Have you guys started to look at that and factor in what you're having to do at these races to find yourself on the good side?
I think, first of all, just finish, right? We've had 3 DNFs, I think 4 or 5 finishes outside the top 25. So I look at that, and I look at our points position, and I'm honestly surprised we're just 14th. So once we start to finish where we've been running, I think we're going to be fine.
All right, we'll see what Nick Sanchez has this weekend, not only in the Xfinity Series, but also in the Truck Series, Dylan.
And Riley Herbst is back in the Joe Gibbs Racing number 19 car for his second start of the year. So I know this weather kind of gets you guys out of your routine and your preparation a little bit, but are you excited to be back in the Xfinity Series and go out here in a little bit?
Yeah, I haven't been in an Xfinity car with Joe Gibbs Racing since 2020 full-time, and I was such a different race car driver back then. So just thank you to Monster Energy and 2311 for allowing me to come out here and race with some old friends and hopefully put on a good show and kind of go have some fun and try to go win a race.
What can you learn for the Cup car on Sunday? These cars are so different, but the track is obviously unique.
Yeah, not too much with the track or the race car, Dylan, just more about confidence and just going out there and enjoying racing and just going to have some more fun in the Xfinity Series. These cars are so much fun to drive, and hopefully I can take whatever I do learn on Saturday and apply it to my Cup car and just try to go be better there as well each week. And it all starts today with practice. So hopefully this weather stays off and we can go have some fun.
Good to have you back. Good luck this weekend. Riley Herbst in the Joe Gibbs Racing number 19, and drivers starting to get suited up down here. Sun's starting to
going on this weekend?
Do we get some?
This is like a double dip for
Let's
me. The
go.
barbecue and the Andes.
Yes.
You know? And when I say I do dessert on Fridays, that doesn't mean I don't do it the other 6 days.
I was going to say, is
of
that
the
just
week.
the only cheat day or something? I didn't know
Yeah,
you were
not
so
really. I don't have
on
rules.
your fitness.
Hey, I said this earlier. This is our 3rd mile-and-a-half race of the year, 6 total mile-and-a-half races on the schedule. What makes Texas different than Las Vegas and Miami? Because this place is very unique.
Well, it just starts with the banking. You heard some of the drivers talk about it. You see the variable banking degree angles there compared to the other two in Las Vegas and Homestead. You just have a massive difference between turns 1 and 2 and turns 3 and 4. The other thing, speed, 185-mile-an-hour pole speed, but what they don't show you there is that into turn 1, you're over 190 miles per hour in a qualifying lap. And what it also doesn't show you is that your minimum speed in turns 3 and 4, where it's highly banked, those 28 degrees, it's somewhere around 180 to 185 in qualifying. It's one of the sketchiest 2 corners you will do in an XFINITY car all year in qualifying here at Texas. When you do it right, you feel like a hero. When it's wrong, hold on. You're probably going to hit something and hit it hard.
I got one word, balance.
That would
And
be
it's
nice.
very, very hard to achieve. What's up, Dylan?
Well, we're just finding more drivers down here. We found Catherine Legg, who is in the car, the 32 car, for the 2nd straight week. So you had The Rock, you had Talladega last week, you got mile and a half here. What expectations do you have of what you may feel when we get out on the racetrack here?
You know, I'm trying not to have any expectations because we don't know what the weather's going to do. It's my first mile and a half. It's honestly, like, I don't know how much this sim is going to translate to real life. So trying not to have any, go out there and feel it out and see what we've got.
Doing the sim, as I know you've done to prepare for all these races you've run, versus getting in the car and actually racing them. Have you been surprised at the similarities or the differences?
It's weird. It's like, it's the same, but it's different. It doesn't trigger the same emotions. I mean, there's nothing like coming up on a wall at 200 miles an hour. Let's be honest, when you're in the sim, it's just a little bit different, but it's really, really helpful, and I'm very grateful to everybody at GM for letting us do it. You know, for people like me who haven't been to somewhere like this before, it definitely helps kind of expedite the process of learning it. And visually, it's the same, it feels the same, it's great for setup, but there's like something in my brain, and I think the younger drivers who like grow up driving iRacing or something maybe don't have it, but there's something that separates the two in my brain.
You've driven a lot of different race cars, champ cars, sports cars, Indy 500. What about these cars? What have you enjoyed about learning them and racing them so far?
I am having so much fun. You know, I said Talladega was the most fun I've ever had in a race car, and I've driven a lot of race cars. It's definitely a bigger, heavier car with less downforce than I've driven before, because even when you look at a GT car in the sports car program, like that still has more downforce and is lighter and more nimble than one of these. This is a lot of fun. It's a big, burly, you know, raw beast that you have to wrangle around a racetrack rather than it being refined.
Thanks, Catherine. Good luck this weekend.
Well, last weekend, it was heartbreak for Jeb Burton. So close to that first season win, ultimately finishing 2nd to Austin Hill at Talladega. You've had a week to kind of digest everything. What was that week like for you?
I didn't sleep very good. Just frustrated and happy with the not the result, but the speed and the showing that our 27 team showed last week. Just heartbreaking. Felt like, you know, looking at it right here, you know, the 88s hit the wall, and I feel like if they throw the caution sooner, we win the race. If they throw the caution later, we win the race. If they don't throw the caution at all, we win the race. It's like they threw it right at the split second that the 21 was, I guess, 1,000th of a second ahead of me. So that's really frustrating and disheartening. It's a lot of different things on the line when we win a race for the organization, myself. So frustrating. But we're 9th in points, Kim. We're doing a lot. I feel like if we can, even if we don't win a race, and we can point our way into the playoffs, we're turning some heads. So just appreciate all my guys, all our partners. We got a ton of different people helping this program. And yeah, it's just glad to be back here in Texas. We got 60 different people from State Water Heaters coming tomorrow, and they've been with the Burton family for over 20 years. So looking forward to trying to have another shot tomorrow.
So let's lean in and talk about some of those good things. 2 top 10 finishes back-to-back, as well as maybe even bigger than that, 2 back-to-back weekends of scoring 40-plus points. As you look at the point standings and what you guys have done this season, outside of a possible win, is this where you thought you would be, or are you guys kind of ahead of schedule?
I think our speed is much better than it has been. We've been working really hard. It's my 3rd year with the team. We've been working a lot in the simulator. Shane and I, like we put in our Charlotte setup last week, and we put on some different things and made the car way better. So just excited about the program, where it's hitting. They listen to my feedback. The whole team believes in me, have a lot of confidence coming in here, and yeah, appreciate Xfinity and everything they do for our series. Just ready to get back in a race car, Kim. I'm tired of talking about Talladega. We got some other speedways. We'll go try to win those, but ready to get back in a race car and put the visor down and let it rip.
Eyes forward for Jeb Burton, a former winner here at Texas in the Truck Series.
And I know exactly what he's talking about, Adam, because sometimes the best medicine when you've gone through something like he did this week, being so close, I've been there, and the simple timing of a caution takes away this momentous moment from you. It's really tough pill to swallow, but the best medicine for that is to just get back in the race car. I know he mentioned it there, and Kim alluded to it, but that points haul that he's had the last 2 weeks has put him in a great position. And going into Talladega, he wasn't in such a close, great position. He had told me, hey, I know I have to be perfect each and every week. I think he bought himself a little bit of breathing room there with such a great day, almost perfect day at Talladega, just a little bit short.
I want you to look at our monitor.
I
Cars
see this.
coming from the garage
Let's
to
go.
pit road. Track is drying. Hopefully it's just a matter of time before we see these. They're going to put the cars out there, and they'll run for probably 15, 20 minutes, depending on when they get them on track. And then we'll flip over to qualifying. And right around 5:30 local, 6:30 Eastern time is when we will begin qualifying. So the plan is to get some practice and all of qualifying in here, which is great news for all the teams.
You got to give NASCAR credit for sticking with this and trying it. It looked pretty bleak about 2 hours ago, but they've stuck with it, and we've definitely seen some serious headway in terms of drying. And it's important to get qualifying in with some cars possibly going home. So you want to work really hard to give everyone a chance to go out there and try and at least qualify for this race. That's important to these race teams. teams. That's why they work so hard to do this. And it's a really great message to teams that show up that aren't locked in on points. Hey, even if there's weather, we're going to try. We're going to do everything we can to give you an opportunity to do that.
And with the truck race tonight, there's
Yes,
a drop
tight
dead
window.
time on qualifying as well, so we should point that out. Back down to Dylan.
Well, you may have seen us in the background there, and you see us here. Justin Allgaier is making me nervous. All these cars are rolling out here, guys in their suits, and you still got your street clothes on. So what's the deal here?
Well, there's still some moisture on the racetrack, and that's going to be a tough decision. You know, I know that they're trying to get everything that they can in this afternoon, and I think that's the hard balance, right? We want to get on track, get practicing, get qualifying in, but, you know, this place is so fast. Of all the racetracks we go to, this one is probably the fastest one, almost as fast as Xfinity Mobile, right? And 3 and 4 is so high speed and high commitment. And with the water that's still down there, I think selfishly, I'm hoping that it doesn't get in because of how much water there still is. But at the same time, you know, I'm actually getting ready to go get a fire suit on. I'm going to be like everybody else and go get a fire suit on. But you know, regardless, I know that this race team at Junior Motorsports, you know, the effort that we brought all year has been great. Our Jarrett Logistics Chevrolet, I'm sure, will be as fast as we need it to be. We just, you know, if we start the race tomorrow on no practice, or if we get practice in today, I think we're going to be happy either way.
Well, what is track specifically? What are the challenges of either going out here now on a track that's been rained on all day, or going out for the first time tomorrow and not having any laps on it?
Well, the beauty of tomorrow is that, you know, you will have cup practice on the racetrack. At some point, we're going to have a Truck Series race as well, so you're going to get some rubber laid down. So I don't know that the negatives are really that big of a deal for tomorrow. The negatives for today are just the commitment level that this racetrack holds, and you know, I think that you're going to have some teams that are at a little bit of a disadvantage, especially if they have to go out early in qualifying. You know, with the racetrack being the way that it is, no rubber down, we don't really have a barometer of what the track is. Also, too, you know, I think as you know, where we're at with backup cars, right? So like, for example, our team only has 2 backup cars for this weekend. So you know, if something were to happen to one of us, we're all going to have to be super cautious. So those are all things that, you know, I think being in the sport long enough and seeing some crashes here, I don't know what to think. You know, if we have to go do it, I'm lucky enough to have some experience here and go lay down a lap, hopefully, and, you know, put myself in a good position. But either way, we're going to have fun.
One more thing before you go. Parker has a question from upstairs. Go ahead, Parker.
Hey, Dylan, just ask him if he's feeling so confident because of his sim racing experience at the CW Upfront in New York City this past Tuesday, and
Parker,
who was pasteured him.
Parker asked if you are so confident in your skill set here because of the CW Upfront experience that you had this weekend. And he also asked something about who was faster, which I think I know the answer to.
Yeah, he got me on the iRacing simulator at the CW Upfront. We didn't get much time in it, though, because it was actually really cool, you know, to have all of the groups that we had there from the CW, and the actors from Wildcards spent a lot of time on the simulator, which was awesome to see. So that was really cool. But, you know, to have the folks from WMVE there, to have some professional volleyball players, and Michael Johnson was there. Like, really, really cool event. Had a lot of fun up in New York City this week. So you're really appreciative that they asked me to come be a part of it. I did get beat by Parker, but the best part was Parker won a trip to Daytona, and he gets to.
Well, he never goes there.
He gets to come to the racetrack and hang out. So I mean, I was pretty proud. I got to win a Justin Allgaier diecast car for being second. So I think that was pretty special.
All right, everybody wins. Thanks, Justin. Kim.
Yeah, Taylor Gray just watched his car being pushed to the grid. I saw you help there at the very end. It was Radcliffe that did most of the work. Let's talk about Texas, though. You did make this start last year. You had a good qualifying effort, a big save early in the race, ultimately finished 11th. What kind of things were you able to add to your notebook that's going to help tomorrow?
Yeah, just really kind of knowing what I'm going to need throughout the race and to start the race. Obviously, we were really free last year, and so just being able to build up that notebook and try to figure out, you know, what I need to be better here for this year. So I'm hoping that our cars is as fast as Xfinity Mobile. I have a lot of confidence in Jason. We seem to unload really, really good everywhere we go. So hopefully, you know, we're close with a shortened practice time and go qualify good.
You mentioned shortened practice time. We're still trying track drying efforts out here to both practice and qualifying. As you've seen the track, kind of, what are your thoughts on whether or not we're going to get this in?
I hope so, but at the same time, I don't know. I really do, because I think it's so much fun just to unload and go race. But I know NASCAR is trying to do everything possible to get the track dry with a couple people having to go home.
What do you think about that, Parker? Just unload and go race.
I enjoyed it as well. I won't lie. When we did it during COVID,
You're just lazy. You don't like to work.
That's what it is. It's like, hey, you just show up and do the racing part? Okay, that's fine. I'll do that.
You know who's really up for that? Harrison Burton, who won here during COVID,
yes.
2020.
He did enjoy that. Right.
So
Once again, you're an encyclopedia
Let's
of
run it
information.
back. Let's run it back. Hey, with that, Taylor Gray's crew chief, Jason Ratcliffe, they referenced there 5 wins here, including 4 in a row with Kyle Busch.
Whoa, pressure's on.
If only I had the mind-blown emoji as we go to break on CW. Austin Hill now has the drafting hat trick. He's won at Daytona, Atlanta, last week his first at Talladega Superspeedway, and we said this earlier, #1 all time when you talk about wins in the draft at this level.
Look at that company. Dale Earnhardt, Tony Stewart, Dale Earnhardt Jr., drafting specialists, drivers who have accomplished so much in this sport, all 3 in the Hall of Fame. That's a wonderful list to be on. I can't imagine what that feels like. And I think the other thing that I find very cool about Austin Hill is when you listen to him in that interview, he just loves the game. He loves super speedway racing, and I think that's sometimes the biggest part of the battle of going into super speedways and being successful is your mental attitude towards it, and he absolutely loves it. I know he's been really successful, but you don't rack up 9 wins not also enjoying it.
Austin's teammate, pretty good at it too, as it turns out. Jesse Loves with Dillon.
He finished 3rd last week, but has been at the front of both races the last few weeks, and all year too, has been so strong. But the last couple weeks, it seemed like there has been kind of a mindset shift for you guys in this team of just aggressiveness and trying to keep your car at the front of the field. What's gone into that? And I know Danny Stockman and you have had some conversations about that too, but what's it been like behind the wheel?
Yeah, just try like hell, you know. Luckily our cars have been as fast as XFINITY Mobile, which definitely helps us, right? But at the same time, I feel like it's everybody on the team, right? How our, car chief and tire guy, interior guy, how they interact, and then, what my spotter, Brandon Manesh, what his tone of voice is to me, how Danny talks to me, right? Like we try to change that whole culture a little bit to try to go take control a little bit of the series. I feel like it can be pretty hard, easy to go throughout the whole year and nobody really take control of the Xfinity series. But I feel like every now and then you hit a year where somebody does, right? So trying to be that team, I think is what our goal is, right? And definitely, points wise, after our penalty, we have some catching up to do to get, back close to the 7 car. But, I think we have a couple good tracks for us in the future. And I think that our momentum has been pretty good.
Where do the 1.5 miles, so we got a few of those coming up the next 3 races, where do those kind of fall in line with where your program is at right now and how you feel about those?
Yeah, I think pretty good. I think the high grip places have really helped me, been good to me and the whole team the last few weeks. I think we ran 3rd at Vegas, and I'm not sure how big Rockingham is. I think it's a mile, but it kind of races like an intermediate. So I think it's been good for us. I don't really feel like we have a weak point right now on our team. I think we're all pretty consistent. We kind of have the standout of our speedway performances. But just looking forward to tomorrow. Hopefully today, obviously getting the pole here last year, I have some kind of confidence going into it. But I think our Samsara Chevrolet is going to be really fast, and engines matter here. We got big engines too. That always helps us qualify good and then stay out front when the track's cooled off.
All right, good momentum for sure on the 2 team right now, Kim.
Well, Blaine Perkins coming off his best career finish, 7th at Talladega last weekend. So what's the outlook for this team this weekend at Texas?
Yeah, really excited to be here in Texas. Finally got our best finish of the year, my career best finish overall. So excited to have some momentum. Really excited to be here in Texas. Always a good time. Hopefully this weather clears out. We get to practice and qualify today. I think we got a really fast number 31. Really excited to have Volpe on the car this weekend. Hopefully it's as fast as XFINITY Mobile. We'll find out here shortly, and just looking forward to getting on the track.
After tomorrow's race, the Xfinity Series will take a 2-week break. How important is it to have a good day tomorrow before you guys kind of set things up for 2 weeks?
It's important. I mean, you definitely want to have a good off week and finish strong, but I think it's just a big reset period for everybody in the garage. We've been grinding hard for, it seems like 3 months now, and just to get 2 weeks is a big deal for a little team like us. I mean, we're taking 3 cars to the racetrack, 4 cars to the racetrack sometimes. So these guys are working hard. I'm excited for them to finally get a little bit of a break and then kind of finish off the summer strong.
It's not a throwback weekend, but I was just told we have a throwback photo of you that we're going to put in the monitor real quick. Tell us what's happening here.
I don't even know what's happening here, but yeah, no, it's really cool. That's me probably when I'm like 3 or 4 years old, right? I think it's a Mark Martin scheme there. It says 1 year old there, but that's pretty cool. I mean, I've been wanting to do this my whole life, and that just shows it right there.
Start him young is what I just heard.
Well, he's still young. What are you talking about? He's 25. And you know what I admire about him? Not everyone's cool enough to rock the flat bill, but he's doing it.
He does. He's got that SoCal look going.
Fresh off a career best 7th, as they talked about, 10th earlier this year at COTA, so he's done some positive things, is Blaine Perkins. So is Austin Hill. We're hoping these drivers get on track momentarily here at TMS. but for some of these guys that have never seen Texas, I mean, you got to be a little bit anxious right now, I'm guessing.
So I've always disliked the hurry up and wait. And that's
Totally.
when you end up in these situations. You suddenly get told, oh, we're going to be on in 20 minutes, so you go and get changed as quick as you can. You get out there, and they're like, oh, hey, man, hold up. We're just going to sit here for a minute. They have a weeper now, right? And it's definitely a range of emotions, and you're trying to stay in this. If you haven't been there before, you're trying to kind of stay calm, replay what you learned in the sim, what you learn from tape, what were those lift points, what am I looking for again? But now you've got overcast. There's possibly some wet areas on the racetrack that maybe you're going to have to avoid. Who wants to be out there first on a green racetrack at Texas? I know I wouldn't want to be. That's all the things going through your mind right now. And so it's definitely tough. And, you know, it's part of this game, though. You have to be able to adjust. You have to be able to be dynamic in how you approach days like this and be able to just rise above it somehow. But it's definitely tough.
Who does this favor? Let's just say, man, we can't get this thing dry and we're not going to practice, no qualifying. We're just going to line up and race. Who does that favor? Does it favor the veterans, or does the unknown create this level playing field so everyone has a chance to go out and get it done tomorrow?
I think here it definitely favors your veterans. Yeah. Kyle Larson, I'm going to put my circle
yeah,
in him.
okay.
I know it always favors him.
Maybe beyond Kyle Larson
beyond Kyle
and
Larson,
Justin Allgaier. And,
I'll take your Austin Hills, your Justin Allgaiers, even Sheldon Creed, those sorts of drivers, because they've seen this place, and this place is so difficult. It's hard to get points. As you head off to turn one the first time you've ever been here, it's going to look like a sea of asphalt that you don't even know where to turn, so it's just a very difficult racetrack in big ways.
Track position huge too, so if you don't qualify, we go off of the metric. If you're starting up front, that can be an enormous advantage as well, Dylan.
And you guys are just talking about Sheldon Creed. He is down here getting ready to climb aboard his race car once the track is deemed fit. So what are the challenges about getting, let's talk specifically into turn one here. What do you need the car to do, and how difficult is it to kind of hit it consistently?
Yeah, this place can be tough to be, I guess, free in, especially into one. You're just really flat and high speed. So, yeah, it's hard to get it all right because you want to be free center off, but you want to be tight enough to get in and have the whole package. But, yeah, I think our Haas Factory team guys got our Road Ranger Ford Mustang hopefully dialed in here, and hopefully we'll get the track dry and get a few laps in to practice before qualifying.
How valuable, even if it is just a couple laps, how valuable are those laps before you go out to qualify?
Yeah, it's certainly better than just trying to line up and go qualify. At least have an idea of what your car is going to do. So I'm not sure how long we're going to have in practice here, but yeah, hopefully enough to make a few laps and have a good idea for qualifying.
Thanks, Sheldon. As you can hear, engine's starting to fire up in the background, so I think we're getting closer. Kim.
Well, I'm here with Brandon Jones, and Brandon, Adam and Parker were having debate on whether this track favors veterans or rookies. Somebody has no idea, doesn't know what this place looks like. As a veteran, would you agree with Parker and say, yes, Texas is a veterans track?
Well, with these conditions, absolutely. There's been a lot of unknowns today. A lot of weather obviously came through here this afternoon, and so up in the air, we're going to get on the track or we not. I think for specifically for the truck race tonight, it's going to actually play into my favor. I'm in the one, so that'll be pretty fun. And I think just having a lot of laps here will help just kind of the initial takeoff and knowing, you know, where to make passes and different things. But hopefully we get some laps. That'll help for the truck race tonight. We got Miracle Grow on our Toyota Supra, so looking forward to getting there. And I've always wanted a cowboy hat in Texas, so hopefully we can get it done.
Two very different ends of the racetrack. Which is the more challenging?
This place is very difficult. Trying to get the balance correct is the hard part about Texas. I fully expect to see the racetrack move up at some point tomorrow. I always think that second lane becomes the groove to run here, but you have to start on the bottom. So knowing the difference between the bottom to top is what's important.
Brandon Jones playing double duty this weekend, Dylan.
Let's see if we can step in here and grab a word with Sammy Smith real quick as he finished up a conversation with Justin Allgaier. Hey, this place statistically has been pretty good for you in just a couple starts here. What do you like about this place?
Yeah, sorry, Dylan. It was hard to hear you a little bit, but yeah, it's just a fast racetrack, two different corners. We'll see here if we go practice and qualify, but if not, I'm happy to line up tomorrow and race.
What do you feel like? How do you feel like the last few weeks have been for you guys? I know last week you didn't get the finish you wanted, but just race-wise, where do you feel like you guys are at?
Really good. I felt really solid these last couple weeks. Ultimately, we didn't get the finish with Talladega, but last 5 weeks we've been really solid speed-wise. So, yeah, if we don't qualify in practice, I'm okay with that. I know we start 22nd or whatever, but we've been unloading fast race cars, so I'm not worried.
8 car has been good. Thanks for your time, Sammy. Well, this place always has put on good shows, great racing in the Xfinity Series. Last year in Texas certainly was no exception.
Here comes the 1 car. Sieg now with another last-ditch effort to win a race.
Sieg and Mayer going at it at Texas.
Door to door, they're banging fenders coming to the start.
Sam Mayer was the winner. On the flip side of that, Ryan Sieg coming home second. You kind of cringed when you saw that replay. Is it still hard to relive it?
Of course, you know, I mean, we're that close. But it is what it is. We'll see what we got here today. It's kind of unusual circumstances, but we have the same car, same setup, so we'll see how good it is today. Hopefully it's as good as we had last year, but all in all, hopefully this will be like a rebound, not a rebound, but just to see where we are with our mile-and-a-half stuff and to try to get back on track of where we were running last year. So should be fun. We have a great side board, and hopefully it's as fast as Xfinity Mobile, and we get to be in victory lane this time.
Okay, same car, same setup, same driver. What else on the checklist has to happen at Texas to put yourself in a winning position again this year?
Yeah, you just got to have the right circumstances, and we found ourselves in those right circumstances this late in the race, and getting clean air and just got to seal the deal. But the rain and no rubber and everything's going to be a lot of changing factors all weekend. So, but maybe we'll just go straight to the race. I like that. You know what I mean? I'm able to adjust during the race, so maybe we'll have no practice or qualifying.
Our producer really just wants to dig in here and have you rewatch your reaction. This is actually the two of us last year, or watching this year, last year's. Tough, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, it was tough. I looked like I had it, but it was close. Just, you know what I mean? Just should have did something a little different just to win the race, but we got another chance here.
Yeah, you would have thought that reaction that we just saw, that replay from a couple minutes ago, was live. That's how much it still stings here for Ryan Sieg.
I just want to be at the party when this team wins. When Ryan wins, I want to be there and witness the celebration.
378 career starts without a win, second most in history to go that long without a win. I know how much this team wants to win. Think about what they did in the offseason. They moved this race team to North Carolina. He's spending more time than ever in the sim because they feel like they've been so close. They can see it, they can feel it, they can taste it, they can almost touch it there last year. They've been close in so many different places. They want that first win for Sieg and that family race team, and I'm surprised it hasn't happened yet. I was surprised, you know, when he's been put in the position. When you look back at Rockingham this year, he was definitely in the conversation there.
Led 77 laps.
Absolutely. Obviously, it was in a fuel situation, but was close enough there. And when I saw what happened to him last year, I thought, well, that's not surprising. He'll win elsewhere. Still hasn't won. I really think it happens this season.
Top 10 in 6 of the last 8 races on mile and a half. He's a sleeper at these intermediate tracks. Both he and brother Kyle, you saw they're really good in Texas. Hopefully, we'll get some cars out here in a minute.
Well, Adam and Parker, I would volunteer you guys to come down here and do some if you'd like to take some of the load off the bus.
We're good up here.
Carson Kvapil is making his first start at Texas this weekend. So how do you feel about the possibility of no practice?
Yeah, I'm not really sure right now. I can only see the front stretch, and it looks kind of dry over here. I'm not sure what it looks like in the corners, though. Either way, though, I think these guys brought me a really fast Carolina Carports Chevrolet, and hopefully, if we got to go straight into qualifying, it is what it is, I guess. I'm a little nervous, but I wouldn't mind to get some practice. I'm sure these guys brought me a car that's as fast as XFINITY Mobile, but at the same time, I'd like to at least see the track before I made my qualifying run or to start the race. So I guess we're going to have to wait a little bit more and see.
Does this place, just with the technicality of turn 1, does that change how you would how much you would like to get on the track beforehand, or are you just kind of that way in general?
I mean, I just like to. I mean, obviously, turn 1 and 2, it's a tough one, right? But as a driver coming to these tracks, I went to Darlington for the first time, and we went straight to the race. So that one was really intimidating, but it all kind of worked out. So honestly, I feel like I said, I'd like to get some practice just to feel it out and then see what I got. But at the same time, I think we could go into the race and be just fine.
Thanks, Carson. His dad, Travis, was a winner here in the Truck Series way back in 2001.
And he might need to lean on Travis because we just found out while they were doing that interview, NASCAR is not going to have an opportunity to put these cars out in practice. We're now hopeful that we can work our way just past 6:30. We can get the track dry, and we will try to qualify. But we know there will be no practice, so we can make that announcement, and now we await the opportunity for the qualifying session. Kim?
And Adam, I was going to play weather person, but off air, you told me I wasn't being optimistic enough about the weather thing. And so I found Daniel Dyan, and when I was talking about the weather, he goes, "Oh, do I get to play Parker's role?" And I said, "Absolutely. Do you want to do that?" So here it is. The stage is yours.
Yeah, let's check it out. I mean, it's definitely damp, okay? It's maybe not wet. They did just spring the news on us that we're going to just go right into qualifying, no practice. So that's a lot of fun. But I'm hoping that our B Pro Auto Chevy is going to be fast as XFINITY Mobile. We were going to start 9th, so we got to do better than 9th if we're going to qualify. So looking forward to it. I've ran at this racetrack now 4 times, 2 times in XFINITY, 2 times in truck. So I feel comfortable here. Hoping to have a good 1 lap and then see what we need to do for the race tomorrow.
You mentioned comfortability here. Those 2 prior XFINITY Series start. That first one was actually your XFINITY Series debut. That was in 2023. What do you remember about that day?
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. My first XFINITY race with Alpha Prime. That was fun. It was a fun group. Qualified like a second and a half faster than our fastest practice time, so I don't know where I pulled that one out of. And then had a decent race, and there I am spinning out. So thank you guys up in the booth for using that clip. Obviously, I found the edge. I was learning, so hopefully that the experience that I gained from that event and learning from those mistakes is going to play into my part this weekend.
All right, let's bring it back to present day for the last question, and a positive note. You're right below the cut line, -9. At this point, how do you kind of approach the races knowing you're so close to the playoff grid?
Yeah, we're in a spot where we run, 15th-ish all day, and then we kind of sneak our way into 10th, 8th, whatever, sometimes out of that top 15. So we need to figure out how to move the needle a little bit, run 10th and sneak our way into 5th, and then just kind of keep going that direction. So we're working real hard at College Racing to find a little bit of speed in all 3 of our Chevrolets, and I think we're heading in the right direction. I feel like it was a good week of sim. We put a lot of faith in our simulator, so hoping that was a good thing. GM does a lot of good for us with that simulator, so looking forward to it. I'm hoping we have a good piece.
Well, I appreciate you standing in for Parker. Parker, I think that I've decided now that if we do get weather in the future, I'm just going to start auditioning drivers to play your role when you're not at the track.
That sounds amazing. I love it. I'd like to pass the baton on what has become basically the go-to barometer for wetness at a racetrack. I can't believe it's taken off like this. This was the scene of where it first occurred in 2021. We were stuck there 3 or 4 days. I hope that doesn't happen here today. I'm going to give Daniel a 7 out of 10. You can't seek out the water. If just beside him it was dry. You gotta go with what's the predominant condition on the ground. That tells you what the true reading is.
Maybe 7 out of 10 doing the weather. I'm going to give him a solid 9 through 11 races this year.
Absolutely.
5 top 10 finishes. He said it there. Early in the race, we're not doing what we need to do. He and Chris Rice having some fun. Early in the race, we're not doing what we need to do. But they're finishing these races, and if they can find a way, qualify up front, get some stage points, they will be in a really good position
Definitely.
make the playoffs. We're now hopeful that we will see qualifying at Texas Motor Speedway. It's been an interesting Friday afternoon for the Xfinity Series on CW. In there, dude.
I hope not. They're not thinking it's going to be a rude awakening. They can't open the door.
All right, so we told you earlier, Connor Zilich injured, will not race this weekend, driving the 88. Kyle Larson, let's go back to the last time he was competing in the Xfinity Series. He lost the lead for just a brief period, but overall he was dominant at Bristol, took him behind the woodshed, man.
Would not be denied on that day. You know, he dominated Homestead, but lost in that late race restart, and you could tell that there was a serious fire in the belly of Kyle Larson when he showed up at Bristol. He absolutely wanted that win, and that little bit of time where Justin Allgaier got the lead from him, he got to him and maybe about a lap, gave him a chance, and then said, I'll see you later. Used the bumper, moved on, and never looked back.
You mentioned Homestead. It was almost like he was driving angry because he had dominated Homestead. We get the caution, we get the late restart. You know, he gets hit from behind by Sam Mayer. He was obviously frustrated after the race, which is so rare for him. And then he comes out at Bristol and does what he did. And you look at this weekend, and I would say that, you know, anytime Larson's in the race, you just immediately make him the favorite. But when you look at how good those junior motorsports cars have been, and then you add Larson to the equation, I've got to believe he's going to be someone that we're talking a lot about tomorrow.
And when we rumbled into Rockingham just a couple weeks ago, the talk in the garage was the junior motorsports cars were the cars to beat. And especially at these downforce-S tracks, places that require that grip in the race car, for whatever reason, they were bringing the speed. And I think now putting Kyle Larson in that machinery is a dangerous combination. Remember that 17 he drives for Hendrick Motorsports. They work closely with Junior Motorsports. Adam Wall, the crew chief, is in their debrief meetings each week and talking with those teams, and so they work very closely. It's very similar equipment, although they're not both out of the same Junior Motorsports shop. I think Kyle Larson, Xfinity car, and with his motivation right now, as he said, it's just such a dangerous thing for everyone else out there.
And the other part of this is the month of May for him. You just add another opportunity in what could be a very magical month of May for Kyle Larson. Kim?
CJ McLaughlin will be one of the first drivers to take a qualifying lap. How treacherous is that lap going to be?
Very important. We have to make the race today, so I got to hold it wide open in 3 and 4 and hope it sticks. So I hope the track's dry and see what we got.
It sounds like a lot of hoping. Is there any apprehension, though, just because we haven't seen any cars, trucks, anything on the track besides jet dryers?
Yeah, I can't have apprehension right now. It's just going to be full optimism.
Full optimism. I love that. I know Adam would love that. Well, CJ, your start in racing was a little bit different than others. So we're going to take a deep dive. This is back when you were 10. Thunder Lights Division. Those were 4-cylinder cars. What do you remember about getting your start in them?
I remember my first podium. I wasn't much taller than the roof. So I remember the people in the stands being like, look at him, he's so short. But I was only 10, so it was kind of funny.
A lot of checkered flags, though.
Yeah, my dad worked on that thing 24/7 to make it go fast. So, it was always me and my dad racing.
Do you still have any of those trophies?
Oh yeah, he's got a bunch of them still, just in a closet. It's like, always, we're gonna do something with it.
I love it. So much about racing is about family. We'll see if CJ makes the race and if we qualify here in just a bit. Dylan.
Christian Eckes is making his first Xfinity start here at Texas, but you have some truck starts here. So, and this place has been pretty good to you in the truck series. How much do you anticipate that experience being able to help you this weekend?
Yeah, hopefully it helps a lot to our, Celsius Camaro. I'm all spun out because
I've been on alert too, watching these guys.
I don't like this at all. But hopefully our Celsius Camaro is as fast as Xfinity Internet. It's been a long day of sitting around talking about 100 people versus one gorilla is really the main topic of today, and still kind of 50-50 on that for everybody. So,
what's your opinion?
The gorilla, for sure. Like how are you going to get him?
I don't know.
That's the thing. If you have no weapons, you're not going to be able to. It's a gorilla.
That's fair. That's fair.
But back to racing. Looking forward to today. It hasn't been the best season for us for sure, but hopefully this place will be a turnaround. Like you said, I have had some good truck starts here, and let's see what happens.
We're getting ready to go into this 2-week break, obviously, as we reach race 11, I think it is, of this first kind of stretch of the season. Where do you feel like you're at as your development as a rookie in this series and the step up that it's been from the truck series?
Yeah, no, it's been more of a challenge than I anticipated for sure, but we're getting better every.
We got to keep it fun down here.
We're getting better every week. We're getting better every week, and we're having fun doing it. So, I think they're having more fun than me right now. But qualifying should be interesting here. 0 laps, and just gonna have to go see what happens.
All right, thanks for your patience. The Colleague boys are having fun down here for sure.
Get Colleague, it's Chris Rice.
It is?
This is very Chris Rice. What's going on here?
For sure. The teammates also wanting to be in this interview with Christian Eckes. You can tell this is what happens. You asked earlier about race car drivers in this hurry up and wait scenario. This is what happens. You basically eventually just lose our minds and want to just find any entertainment possible when you're sitting around on pit road, especially drinking all those energy drinks that they got down there at Colleague with those Celsiuses. They're all hyped up right now.
Look at this.
Oh,
helmet
hey.
on. I mean, he said no apprehension. He's ready
I'm
to
nervous
go.
for him. How about that?
I asked you earlier about the patience thing.
Yeah.
His patience has run out. CJ said, I'm ready to go. So everything got delayed. We thought we'll get a little practice in and then we'll qualify. We now have canceled practice. We're waiting on qualifying, but the track is just not cooperating.
I'd like to disagree with your whole nothing.
Okay.
I think this has been one of the top shows of the year from around here, from the drivers, from everyone involved. Everyone has risen to the occasion to create quality entertainment here on this Friday.
Let me tell you who's really risen to the occasion. Dylan and Kim,
Yes,
who are
they have.
hustling
Absolutely.
in the garage. What do you have now, Kim?
Yeah, catching up with Matt DiBenedetto, coming off a best finish of 5th last week in Talladega. Unfortunately, this week hit with an L1 level penalty. Are you still able to pull good things from that Talladega race despite what happened during the week?
Yeah, I was in the pre-race inspection, and unfortunately it happened. I don't know all the details of it, but we got struck with a penalty. And, you know, newer growing team, things happen, it's all good. But at the end of the day, we still had a rocket ship of a car in the race. Car was, as I told you last week, definitely as fast as XFINITY Mobile. I don't know what my guys are heckling me about behind me. That was Pat. But no, it was good. A lot to build off of. We got a top 5. Car was really fast. We had a shot to win. We were there all of stage 3, so my team did a good job. Hopefully it's as fast today. I hope we get on the track. I don't know exactly what's... I'm glad we don't go out early for qualifying if we get this in.
As we think about Texas, you're still looking for your first top 10 in the NASCAR Xfinity Series at 1.5 mile tracks. What's going to take you to that next level?
Man, I think, you know, we're still growing as a team, and I think top 15s are... you know, good days, and those are like wins for us as we grow, and opportunities like Talladega obviously are just better opportunities to overachieve. But for here, I think this track is really, really edgy in traffic. Experience pays off, especially in a situation like this where we could be going cold turkey and trying to about hold it to the mat all the way through 3 and 4, which is crazy. But no, I love this track. I think the 1.5 miles are, you know, good strengths for us. Our engines, the ECR engines run good. Chevrolets are always fast. And but yeah, for us, I think a good goal is top 15s and consistency as we are kind of getting more caught up as a race team and growing, and we're getting a little further into the season. We're all getting used to working together. So I think we'll just keep on getting better and better as a team.
Thank you, Kim, and thank you, Matt. And unfortunately, we told you that practice is done, now qualifying washed out as well. Mother Nature wins. Just no way they can get those weepers cleaned up in time to get everybody out there before we do the truck race later tonight. So with that, we use the rule book, the metric. Dawson Cram, CJ McLaughlin will not make the show. Austin Hill, last week's winner, will lead us to the green tomorrow. Dylan?
That's right, and that is courtesy of that strong run last week. Really good laps out there today. Well done.
Yeah, I mean, our car was as fast as Xfinity Mobile just sitting here, so no, we'll take it. I was messing with my engineer Mark. I was like, it was on a splitter a little bit, but car was overall pretty good. Yeah, I was a little nervous, I'm not gonna lie. If we were to go just straight into qualifying, I was obviously gonna just have to be hammered down and hope it stuck, but I think everybody in the field was probably gonna be a little nervous just doing one lap. So I think NASCAR made the right call. They were doing everything they could, you know, to get it in and to at least give us a lap. But yeah, you could tell it's still, there's some weepers and stuff, so they got to get ready for the truck race. But excited to start up front with our Bennett Chevrolet. Hopefully we can stay up front all day. We got the clean air, we just got to keep it. And we don't know what the car is going to do tomorrow, but we'll figure out when we get into turn 1.
Well, that's exactly what I was going to ask. Well, you will not be on the track until tomorrow. There will be some other cars. Truck race tonight, Cup cars tomorrow for their practice. What can you expect, or what will you and Chad Haney, your crew chief, kind of discuss to try to prepare for sailing it off into turn 1?
Well, I think the good thing is we do have the truck race tonight, so I'm going to watch that race very closely, see how it kind of progresses. And then the Cup race or Cup practice tomorrow, I'm going to really be tuning in and watching practice and qualifying, see if the lanes start moving around, if you do start using the second groove or not, and then just kind of come up with our best educated guess of what we think the car's going to need. We are bringing a slightly different package here this weekend, so it would have been nice to have a little bit of practice, 5 minutes, but I think we'll be fine when the race gets going. Everybody at RCR does a great job preparing these Chevrolets, and I think once we get going tomorrow and everybody gets settled in and kind of has the jitters for the first 5 or 10 laps, I think we'll be fine. It's just going to be a deal where you just got to make the best educated guess, and hopefully your guess is correct.
Austin Hill going to lead the field to green tomorrow here at Texas.
And now we relive what it was like in the closing laps for Austin last week at Talladega. The lineup coming up in a matter of minutes. First, here's how things ended a week ago in Central Alabama.